night we're loading up the truck. Got a cooler full of dreams and a pile of bad luck. Bob's got the bait, Jimmy's got the beer. Dan swears he saw a 10 pour last year. The wood stove's humming, the stories get tall. We ain't shot nothing, but we're having a ball. Oh, it's the deer camp special out in the sticks, where the coffee's strong and the jokes come quick. We're legends in flannel, heroes in blaze. Ain't seen a buck in a couple of days, but we'll raise a glass and toast the night to hunting the line and doing it right. Jason snoring loud in the top bunk bed. Ryan's outside with a cold one instead. The fire's burning low, the dogs are fed, and the moon looks mean hanging over our heads. We'll get up at dawn, pretend we'll be quiet, but the woods know better, it's a rowdy diet. Yeah, it's the deer camp special out in the pines, where time don't matter and nobody minds. We're kings of the cabin, lords of the lies, drinking tall tales deep northern skies. Yeah, we came for deer, but stayed for the crew. It's not what we catch, it's what we go through. No self-service, no 9 to 5, just a bunch of fools feeling damn alive. If the world don't get us, the whiskey might, but at least we'll go out feeling right. It's the deer camp special, our favorite sin, where every lost cause starts with a grin. We'll hang that tag if the stars align. Till then, just one more round this time. Yeah, this deer camp life's the best we've known. Out here, we're kings on borrowed throne. So pass that flash, stoke that flame. Every deer camp's got a story and a name. Ours is carved in the pine out front. The deer camp special, where the hunt don't hunt.
All right, well, if that doesn't pump you up for deer camp, I don't know what's going to.
Nothing will. Are you going to roll that in? Are you going to make a video for it, or like a?
That literally sounded like, to me, that sounded like if you took Bob's voice and told ChatGPT to make a song.
I mean,
Hey,
I did
tell him I wrote it
Yeah,
and performed it, because there's some good licks on that one, man.
actually, that was.
That's a good tune.
If you told me Bob played that and sang it, I would have believed you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if he could. Not gonna lie.
Here's what you should do. You should take a bunch of pictures from deer camp, for all of our deer camps over the last couple of years, and make like just a slideshow, like while playing that whole song.
Sounds good.
Here you go. Send Dan some pictures of deer camp, even old ones.
Can I just send you the same picture over and over?
Yeah, of all your bucks that you shoot. Perfect. Excellent.
Just not this year's. Ooh.
Oh,
Too soon. Too
soon.
Shots.
Hey, this season
Shots
just
fired
beginning,
quite
brother.
literally. Yeah.
Hey,
The month of
brother.
October.
Yeah, I think that would be good, and then you just blend that in. That would be a cool intro.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. It's good. Sometimes you never know what you're gonna get with those AI songs, and
But it's scary how good they are.
They're like a box of chocolates.
yeah, I was just gonna say that.
You never know what you're going to get.
I love you, Jenny.
Ryan, I sent that picture of that buck that I was talking about.
Oh, here, I'll pull it up on mine.
You sent it in the group chat or to me?
I sent it into the group chat.
Jeez.
Remember him?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking.
That's the one that Eric shot.
Yeah.
Look at that motherfucker.
Good gravy.
Yeah.
Silly bitch. He's an 8-pointer too.
Yeah.
Look at the butt on that.
Yeah.
He must work out.
Look at that. Look at that picture.
The picture of him running away is like with the like how wide his rack is. It's fucking nuts.
Is this your deer from a couple years ago?
No.
Is that
This
the
is
Ron
one-
Polo buck?
This is one that we were hunting a couple years ago, or maybe it was fucking 10 years ago. I don't
Yeah, we had
remember.
before the pictures. We had to take the clamp off that was spreading his.
Spreading his velvet.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That deer's got a nice set on him.
He does. Boys hung like a goat.
look at the balls on that.
He's hung like a deer.
What is that picture of?
It's Jimmy's trail cam.
Of nothing.
Looks like nothing.
Oh my god! Because he's got it pointed at a tree.
He does.
You're not supposed to put it in the. You're not supposed to put it in the tree stand.
Yeah, I'm not seeing shit up here, guys. This camera's a piece of shit.
He said, if you can't see it, I'll send you the 170.
The 170 other pictures that look exactly like this.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were going back to measuring our deer in inches.
Oh, I didn't.
We haven't done that since episode 1. Or was that 1 or 2?
What are you measuring?
Learned
in
our
inches?
lesson.
When Bob made his bold prediction, and
Oh yeah.
after going on a rant of not wanting to count points on or
All right,
score his deer.
I have said a lot of dumb shit on this podcast. All right, we don't need to revisit every single one of them.
But
Well,
this
there's
is
just
one
one
that
thing.
we're just gonna keep it going for the length of time.
We should try to find like a bunch of clips, like dumb shit that Bob said, and then play a bunch of it for episode 200.
Yeah,
I tell you what,
The dumb
I
shit.
haven't seen 150 inches of antler all year combined. You know why? Because I haven't been in the fucking woods once.
Maybe pant antler.
Pantlers.
Yeah, maybe hand antler. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, antler.
Guys, all balls.
You've touched 150 inches of antler. It just wasn't on a deer.
Yeah, you touched
Right.
150 inches of antler 150 times.
All balls, no rod.
Yeah.
All right, I need a beer before we. Are we going right now?
I don't know. I kind of thought so.
We can. I mean, we can keep going.
Yeah.
Go get a beer. We'll come back to you, Bob.
Yeet.
All right.
Okay, let's just roll with it.
I'm
Well,
not
Welcome to Deer Camp Special.
Deer Camp Special.
This is like probably my favorite episode that we do every year.
Yeah, I told Sarah tonight. I said tonight's the deer camp, the 3rd annual deer camp special. No clue how long this is going to take. So
Would it be 3rd or yeah? What? No, wouldn't this be 4th? This got to be 4th. We're on 200 episodes. We started in 22, 23, 24, 20. Yeah, this has got to be the 4th annual.
yeah.
Don't cut me short, Dan.
Well, was it considered the deer camp special year 1?
I don't know. Probably not, because I don't even know where we went to deer camp that year.
Yeah.
But either way,
Yeah.
Deer Camp Special, my favorite episode of the year. That is special. Bob's favorite, special. So we're talking deer camp. We're going to talk some hunting. I know Jason's got a terrible story. I've got a couple good stories from my past week of hunting. But we're mainly going to talk about what's going on deer camp.
I got a story about deer hunting.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
All right. Well, you got
Was
you
that
got
the
Ryan
right sound
here.
clip?
You got Ryan here. Bob's coming back. He's going to get a beer because he didn't realize we were going.
Danielson's here.
Captain JG reporting from the bunker.
This is a bunker.
The skunk bunk.
I sent your wife a great Christmas gift idea for you, just so you know. I don't
Was
know
it
if she's
the
gonna.
Duluth Trading Company T-shirts I have to try on today?
It was not. That would have been
Oh,
very
okay.
No, I did not. Hopefully she gets it for you. But if not,
All
I'll
right.
show you right after Christmas. It's
All
it's
right.
a perfect nerd gift for you. So
Sarah does that stuff to me all the time. She's like, "Hey, you got to try on these shirts." And I picked up a couple shirts. And like 2 weeks later, she's like, "You try on those shirts?" I'm like, "Fuck, no." Oh, hold on.
your wives pick you up shirts?
Sometimes.
Really?
Apparently.
My wife, I don't see my wife ever even thinking about doing that.
It's because your wife hates you half the time.
Ah, Jesus.
I mean, am I telling the truth or not?
I mean, I hope she doesn't hate me.
Yeah, she thinks you're a real piece of shit.
Yeah. What a real slob ass. I get all my shirts at like a super discount that I have to order.
True.
So
That's true.
Yeah, that's why she doesn't buy my shit.
Yeah.
And I'm very particular with my clothing too, and like how shit fits. So like I've learned over the years, like I just wear Carhartt everything because it's the only thing that fits half-ass worth of shit. So oh man.
So in Jimmy's absence today.
Yeah, Jimmy's not joining us, by the way, for a litany of reasons.
Yeah. Like I said, he was in traffic 2.5 hours ago. Couldn't make it.
Still in traffic.
Yeah.
I could have made it there by now.
Yeah, you could
By
have.
the time that Jimmy posted that he was in traffic, I could
Are
have
you
been
still
there.
coming out this way? Are you still coming out this way this weekend?
It's a plan. Who did that? I can't, I can't commit to anything these days, but that's the plan.
I'm going to go an entire bow season without bow hunting.
If I do, I quit.
Oh, he's being recorded when he said that.
It's over.
You better get your ass out here, at least for one sit.
Right.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. Well, should we get the business out of the way first? Just get it done with?
Yeah, we can get the business out of the way.
All right. Well, Vanguard Outdoors, where all your dreams come true.
You said what I thought, Brian. I was in my mind. I heard you saying that, and then you did.
Yeah, it's like we got that ESPN thing.
Yeah,
got ESPN or something.
No, Vanguard Outdoors. Check out everything they have. But we've talked about the VO binocular, and then the biggest thing would be that carbon fired shooting stick. I'm going to try to pick one up this week before we head up north, so I can try that out in my blind up in the UP. I am ready for deer season, firearm season, I should say, because I'm about sick of using my bow, because I could have shot so many deer if I had a boomstick in my hand. And it's really annoying when the deer are just out of range of you. But that's a side note. But anyways, yeah, check out Vanguard Outdoors. You use code Terrible20 and get 20% off your order. Dan, who else we got?
We have Fishing Complete Inc., home of case plastics, zipper worms, the original wacky tool.
Wacky rig.
Yeah, that was still one of the most fun times I've had at the fishing show.
Things are getting wacky.
That was like a code word for anybody, either ugly or hot. So that was a fun time. But yeah, Fishing Complete Inc., based out of Canton, Michigan. Some interesting news coming down the pipeline. Stay tuned. I believe we have an announcement to come from them here rather soon. But yeah,
it's good to know. I didn't know that. So.
Yeah, you know what I'm putting down.
Oh, maybe I know and I just don't realize.
You know that it's know, but you don't.
All right.
Are you taking over the business, Dan?
No,
no. As if this guy has any time to do any extracurricular activities.
Yeah, I don't have time for anything really. I could have been doing about 25 other things tonight than doing this, but I did get this place kind of started to get cleaned up.
It's looking good here.
We're gonna have 5 people in this room in
that is
2.5 weeks. So,
well, yeah. And how many episodes?
4.
Yeah, remember Bob when it was like 12 weeks away or 20 weeks away?
Bob's like, you guys are 20 weeks
and we
away.
still haven't like got shit planned out for it. So
we've got some submissions. So
4 is still a month.
It's true.
We have a month.
Not really, because it's what day are we doing it? November 20?
Yeah, Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, sounds terrible.
That's still like 17 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Get this guy a calendar, would you?
Yeah, we got. We'll have the card table set up after podcast, pre-podcast. Play some euchre, play some CADs. We got the fridge. You got the mini fridge delivered today.
There you go.
So we'll have cold
that
beers.
fucker stocked full of beer.
Yeah. So any
duels,
and then any sort of suggestions on food or anything like that. Just let me know if you're.
I want you to smoke.
Lactose intolerant.
I want you to smoke a brisket, a fat ass brisket.
Maybe we should have Jimmy do that. He's the cook. That would be cool.
But he'll be late.
There's a bathroom about 2 feet from here, so
there you go.
If we got to take any poopies.
If he's gonna make it to that one, he might want to get on the road now.
Shots fired. Anyways, Fishing Completing, code Terrible, save 20% off. And then last but certainly not least, West Point Shores, where all your dreams do come true. Mention the podcast, get 10% off of your stay.
Yeet.
I'm going to keep
Yeet.
that short because it's deer camp special. It's not ad special. We're talking deer camp. But before we get into that, Jason, I got to hear the story, the terrible story. I mean,
All right.
you can speed through it as fast as you want, so you don't have to live through it. But I got to hear it.
Yep.
I purposely have not asked for details because I want to hear them fresh.
Yep. So quite a few things happened during the trip, so I'll try to keep it brief. But you know how I can get with my storytelling. So headed out to camp on Friday. Friday night, so it was windy, like 20 to 40 blowing. Friday night, the power was flickering on and off in the trailer they have, and at some point in the night, the power went out and never turned back on. So we didn't like oversleep our alarms or anything, but got up about 4 o'clock. I heard Kevin and his dad out bickering about who was going to call the power company, and they tried to get a hold of him, didn't have any luck. So the power was out. That meant we had no hot water. We talk about scent control quite a bit. Kevin's a pretty big stickler on his scent control. So I was like, well, I'm still going to plan on getting dressed and going out and hunting. And he's like, you're going to go out without showering? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, who cares? I don't shower at my own camp. We don't have a shower. He's like, what? Oh, I can't believe you're going to go out and bow hunt without showering. And I was like, I'm not worried about the deer downwind of me. I'm worried about the ones upwind. So I guess out of respect for being a guest at their camp, I was convinced to go back to bed and slept in. So power got back on around noon on Saturday. So Sunday, we hunted Saturday. I actually saw a small black bear on Saturday night. It was about a half hour before I got down out of the tree. I heard a commotion out in front of me coming out of this thick brush. And I'm like, man, that deer looked really dark. And I pull up my binoculars. I'm like, oh shit, that's like a young black bear. And so I text everybody. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get down a little early tonight. I'll see you back at camp. So I got out of the tree. Anyway, so Sunday, I was sitting in a stand called the Power Line Stand. It's a ladder stand along where the power lines run through their property. There's like a 15-yard wide path where the stand is set up on. Old clear cut in front of you, so it's real thick. You can't really see. Good bedding. Behind me is another area that was logged, and there's a bunch of like tall grass and stuff back there. So first thing in the morning, I saw a buck. So where the stand is, you're facing north. To the west, about 100 yards, a little over 100 yards, is the neighbor's field that I think it was maybe a hay field or something. It wasn't corn or beans. I think it was hay that had been, cut once or twice during the year. Anyway, deer kind of filter back into the bedding from the field, and then I've seen quite a few times I've sat up there and seen bucks cruising around, but never had a shot. So I think it was an 8-point just cruising through the woods between me and the field, too far away, nose to the ground, like didn't really pay attention to any grunting or anything like that. And then I heard some more noise in front of me. So I was sitting there and I got my bow and I could see a buck coming through the brush, and he stepped out into the power line opening, but a little too far of a shot for me. It was about 30 yards, a little over 30 yards. Wasn't comfortable with that. So he worked his way out to that hay field, and when he got out there, I could see him through some brush and stuff, and I actually snort wheezed at him, and he like snapped his head around and looked in my direction, went back to doing whatever he was doing. Actually saw him make a scrape, so I did some grunting, and I snort wheezed again, and like he heard all of it, definitely. But I saw him walk to the south, and I couldn't see him any longer. But I stood up and I had my bow on the hanger at this point. I had hung it back up, but I was standing like, hey, who knows what could happen, right? Well, like a minute later, he comes back from the woods and he's walking down this power line path right at the stand. And the stand, before the leaves fall, is very concealed. Unfortunately, the leaves were all down and you don't have much cover around you. There's some other smaller trees, but those deer pick you off in that stand, unfortunately, pretty frequently when they're right out in front of you, even though you're sitting perfectly still because you're, skylined. So this buck is walking what would be my side of the path, and he's literally going to walk by right in front of the stand. But he crosses over, and now I can't, I have my bow, but he's walking right at me. Like, I can't draw or anything because he's going to see me. So he gets to about 15 yards and he stops and he looks up at me. I'm like, well, this gig is over. And he turns around, but he doesn't run away. He turns around and he circles around. So if 12 o'clock is straight in front of me, he got to about, 10:30 or 11. And then he circled counterclockwise and ended up going behind me and was like 20 yards away. And I had an opening and I shot. And I saw him run a little ways and then stand there. And then I see him take off into the woods. And I can see my arrow only got like halfway, right? Half penetration. It was high and forward, just like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. Like, here we go again.
How far did you say the shot was?
20 yards.
Okay.
So either broadside or a slight quartering away. I can't really remember. It wasn't a giant buck. It was a nice buck of the same caliber that I've shot out there. But boy, I get pretty excited. So saw the deer standing in one spot and then leaves. So I text those guys, tell them what all happened. Text you guys like, hey, I shot, nervous, didn't look like a great shot. So we went out there to track like 11:30 or so when Sean, Kevin's brother, showed up. So all three of us went out there. It took us a while to find blood. We did end up finding blood where the deer was standing, but it took us a while to find a good direction off into the woods where I couldn't see because it was so thick. The deer ended up not going the direction I thought. We ended up tracking it. I was using my Onyx tracker app just to kind of keep an eye on things. And we tracked it like over 600 yards kind of to the other end of the farm. And we ended up jumping a deer that, from a quick look in the binoculars, thought maybe it could have been the buck I shot. Wasn't 100% certain. The deer that we jumped, like, did not act hurt at all. Thing ran off perfectly healthy. Didn't really see anything on that deer that would suggest I shot it. While we were tracking it, we ended up finding my arrow. It did confirm that it only, had gone halfway in. But what was weird is the arrow actually came unscrewed from the broadhead. Like, the arrow didn't break. The whole arrow was laying on the ground. So that was kind of odd. Made me think that, I feel like the broadhead may have been stuck in something hard, like bone, right? For it to come unscrewed. That's kind of weird.
Was there anything on the arrow?
Nothing other than blood, right? Just blood on the arrow. Saw some tiny bubbles in the blood, but I was doing some, kind of some Google searching and stuff while I was waiting a few hours to track. And, people said that even if you see tiny bubbles in the blood, that can come from a muscle hit, like brisket, base of the neck, kind of high front shoulder. You can think that it's lung blood, and it's not, even though it's bright red. When the deer's running and the hide and muscles are all kind of moving around, they can make bubbles in the blood, so it can kind of throw you off a little bit. I was hoping that I would clip the lungs enough to be lethal. So anyway, we tracked for several hours. We get to the point where we jump this deer. We're still finding some blood. It's not necessarily easy by any means, but we've made progress. So they said, let's head back. They're going to go out and hunt. If that was the deer, maybe it'll bed down. If it wasn't the deer, well, we can come back tomorrow and track. So they hunted that evening. They hunted that morning. The following morning, we went back out to track, and we really struggled. We only made about another 40 yards of progress, and that was pretty intense tracking. Like, we did not find much blood after that. We ended up doing quite a bit of grid searching on the north side of this ridge where the deer was headed. We did a bunch of grid searching through this thick green briar where the deer had jumped. the day before. We jumped that buck the day before, so you never feel good about it. I will say that I feel like we did an adequate job of tracking. I did not go through the process to try and figure out any sort of dog tracking services out in New York. I was thinking about that and I talked with those guys about it. They haven't experienced the dog tracking stuff like I have. We've talked about it on this podcast. I've experienced it firsthand. Because they have over the years, people wound deer, unfortunately. Um, they're confident in their tracking ability. They're good at, blood tracking, and they feel like, well, if we don't find it, it's not necessarily a lethal hit. Like, what's the dog going to do that we haven't? Well, I trust that the dog's going to be able to put a bow on the story as opposed to just assuming that you've done all your due diligence, right? So we kind of went back and forth on what to do with that. Did not end up contacting or trying to contact any dog tracking services. So unfortunately, did not find that deer. I did still get to hunt, but they didn't kick me out of the farm or anything. But it always sucks to not find a deer, and it makes a little bit more salt in the wound when you're a guest on someone else's property to pull a stunt like that. So I said, lessons learned from this. Spent some time in the tree afterwards, contemplating, reflecting, thinking critically about what had happened. And when I think back to the handful of deer that I've shot out there, I've been fortunate to get most of them, but now I have 2 stories where I didn't get the deer I shot. Some of the stories of even deer I have recovered, the shot is forced, as opposed to just saying, hey, there's a nice buck and it came through, but it didn't come through, the areas that are clear to shoot. I have forced shots and gotten the deer and been like, yep, cool. Track it for 100 yards. There's the dead buck.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that in the future, the lesson I'll learn from this one is, like, when you're in the stand, the areas that you're comfortable shooting, whether you trim lanes or there's just natural open areas. Like, my thing is going to be sort of settling on, these are the areas that I'm going to shoot at these distances if the buck is in there. If it's not, I'm not going to convince myself that it's open enough to take a shot, because looking back, I could have several more stories of having a non-retrieval, and that's not good. So I think maybe someone says you learn more in defeat than victory. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll try to learn more by not recovering this buck than I would if maybe I had recovered it. So,
How many times have you done that much reflection on a deer that you actually killed? You don't. You get caught up in the.
you don't.
Yeah, at all. You get caught up in like the fact that you made
Yep.
a lethal hit and
Yeah.
it died quickly and you recovered it quickly and like everything went smooth and
Yeah.
there's nothing to be learned there. You're absolutely right that like there's way more to be learned in failure than there is in success. So like I mean, we've all, if you've hunted for any significant amount of time or had a significant amount of deer in front of you, you've wounded and lost deer. I've done it on does. I've done it on bucks. I've made shots that I thought were perfect, and then track and track and
Yeah.
track, and you're like, what is happening here? It's just, like we try to picture what that anatomy looks like. I don't know. It doesn't really go through your head when you're making a bow shot, right? It's
Yeah.
so fast. The adrenaline's, fly. It's hard to recall in most cases because of what adrenaline does to the body. But like you try to, I try to, like when I make a bow shot, try to picture where the arrow is, especially from an elevated position. I've shot very few deer from the ground, but like, so from a stand, like I'm thinking, where is the arrow going to come out?
Mm-hmm.
And then taking, the only thing that I take into like consideration is that shoulder bone, right? And if you look
Yep.
at look at the anatomy of a shoulder bone, it's not like straight down the shoulder. It
Right.
comes in towards the neck of the deer and then curves way back. So you have like
Right.
some decent spot there to be able to place it on the shoulder. So, and sometimes we just don't always make a perfect shot,
Sure. Sure.
I mean, and how many times have you watched it on TV where guys don't make yeah, like guys that are like do this shit
Oh yeah.
professionally. They have hundreds of deer in front of them every year,
Hmm.
and kill probably 10 deer a year, and go through this. This is their job, and they still place bad shots on deer. So it's just it's part of hunting. It's a natural part of hunting, but it is I'd venture to say the worst part of hunting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's no sicker
Yeah.
feeling, no worse feeling than like not being able to recover a deer. You
Yeah.
probably slept like shit that night, if at
Yeah.
all.
I couldn't. Yeah.
you
And
know?
then dream, right? You're dreaming about. So the dream I had the night after shooting that deer and like trying to stay positive and think we're going to get the next day. Yeah. The, of course, the dream I had that night was some screwed up thing with like deer tracking. And it was,
Mhm.
the deer in the dream was literally a pig with horns. That was the deer we were tracking in my dream. But anyway,
I
so,
have I've found that like once like if you wait, I even texted you like, back out or something, or like
mhm,
let it lay. But like blood does not look the same when it's dry.
yep,
Not
yep,
even close. Like when
yep,
it's red and it's fresh, it sticks out, and it's much easier to track.
yeah,
You let it lay for a day, and it gets dry, especially this time of year where all the leaves are starting to fall and they're brown.
yeah,
Like that blood turns brown, and it is almost impossible to see. So you're just hoping
yeah,
that you're finding a body at that point, right? You're
yeah,
just hoping
yeah,
to find like the carcass, because you can't, like, it's almost impossible to actually track it.
yep.
Ryan shot
Um,
one year that we tracked, and I swear to God, to this day, I've never seen a deer bleed as much as that deer bled. Like,
yeah,
like we started tracking this thing. This is where I shot it. All right, cool. And I can see the blood. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, this is a good hit, man. And like, you can just see it. Like I'm looking
yeah,
at the woods and I can see 40 yards of blood. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good one, man. And I'm looking way ahead as we're starting to track it. We're starting to track it, looking way ahead. And then all of a sudden, as we enter this soybean field, boom, it pops up and takes off. And we're like, what a punch in the stomach. You're like,
yeah,
what the fuck, man? How is
yeah.
that thing alive? Like, I mean, we found the deer. We found it the next day, half eaten by
Hmm.
coyotes. But like, it was, I was like, I can't understand it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
That one was
So
gut wrenching, Bob. That was like one of the worst. Even though we recovered the deer, the fact that it ended up getting eaten by coyotes, like fuck, I would have
yeah,
rather just not found it.
yeah.
I guess that's one of those things where like you found it, so you at least have closure to the story, not
Yeah.
this ending you wanted, but you have closure to the story, right? Like we have a mystery that's unsolved. Was it the deer that jumped up? Don't know. Where did the deer end up? Don't know. Is the deer alive and just has a wound that will end up recovering? I know from that deer tracking, the dog deer tracking Facebook page, like it happens, right? It can happen, but yeah, it's still yeah, sucks. So
That
I pawn shot a doe one year up north, and I hit her a little bit too far back. I didn't think it was that far back though. Like,
mhm,
I mean, plenty of daylight out in a turnip field, and what I thought I made a kill shot for sure,
mhm.
but it's a little bit far back, and I was like, all right, cool. I immediately get down on the stand. I go out. I can see my arrow laying there. I think I had a lighted knock on it, so I could see my arrow. I go up there, the whole thing covered with green, and I was like,
Oh,
ah, shit. Went back to camp. Met Ryan at camp, and like, I'm pretty sure that a 2-inch rage through this, through a doe. It wasn't like a big doe, but it
yeah,
wasn't a little doe. It was kind of one medium sized doe.
yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, this thing's definitely dead. Like it started, we got rain coming in. I'm like, let's just go out there. I'm pretty sure it's down by now. So we went out there, and like 3 hours later, half mile later, we jumped her 3 times. Like,
yeah,
just lost that deer. No doubt in my mind that deer died.
mhm,
Like you don't survive, a 2-inch rage in the guts. But I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, sick to my stomach, man. Kicked myself in the head.
Like
yeah.
But
the roller coaster of emotions, right? Like you
yeah,
see the buck come out, You're excited. It's out of your range. Okay, fine. Like, he walks off. Do that calling, like, Hail Mary, and he comes back. You're like, oh my gosh. And then he sees me in the stand, like, oh no, it's over. And then he circles around. It's like, oh my gosh, this is my last chance. And then, like I said, convince yourself that the distance wasn't a problem. It was not a great spot to shoot, although it was open enough. It was a little bit of a crapshoot, and yeah, there's obviously, it goes without saying, but it's a lot different shooting at a target than it is at an actual deer, right? It's maybe I need to do a better job of recreating. It's hard to get as excited when you're shooting at a bag target. Maybe I'll run around the house a few times and run outside and grab my bow and get my heart rate elevated or something. But
I still don't think it would do justice, man. I really don't.
yeah. Like I said, when I was sitting in the tree kind of after all this unfolds, right? The next day or the next hunts or whatever, it was like, when I think about the deer I've shot with my bow, the ones that I have recovered, most of them have been, you drilled the deer, 10 ring, all according to plan, right? A couple of the deer out in New York that I have recovered have been hit a little bit back. One of them, I never touched the lungs. I literally stuck it through the liver. The only thing it hit was liver. The deer was dead 100 yards away. It bled very little, but the deer was dead, right? But that one and another one, there's a couple where it was like, you forced it and you were fortunate to get the deer. When you look at the ones that everything went according to plan, it's because you shot the deer where you were expecting to and where the stand was set up to shoot the deer, not trying to make it work, right? So that's, like I said, that's what I reflected a lot when I was sitting in the stand.
I shot an
Afterwards.
8-point in really low light one year, and I guess I didn't realize either the deer severely jumped the string, or I didn't realize how hard he was quartering, like, towards me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was pretty squared up to me, and I made the shot. It was really low light, right at last light. I made the shot. Again, I was shooting light at knock, so I could tell I hit him. And I'm like, all right, cool. And went down, checked it, found some blood. We backed out, and then went back in and then started looking for the deer. And as we were tracking it, I could smell like that. I could just smell like guts. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how, how did I hit guts? There's no way. There's no, but we had tracked it to that point, like a couple 100 yards, 200-300 yards. I'm like, all right, we're just going to back out. Went out there the next morning, eventually recovered the deer. But like when I shot that deer, he must have been quartering. I hit him behind the shoulder, right behind the shoulder, but that shit came out his hip.
Oh, wow.
So I completely diagonaled the deer, and it was like definitely a fatal hit, but it took him a long time to go down. And it was like, what? It's just weird circumstances when you don't recover a deer, or you have trouble recovering a deer, or it goes more than if. I'm a firm believer in a bow. Like, a bow is a really fast way to kill a deer, but like if the hit is off, like just by a little bit, it can be a couple day process. If not at all,
Yep.
Bow hunting is a whole different challenge, man, than gun hunting. It's a whole different element when it comes to that, whether it be the shot placement or just you have to get a deer into a certain range, into a certain window. Like it's a bitch, man. It really is. Like, it's a whole different level of hunting.
The margin of error, right? When you think about where you want to hit the deer, there is some error around that, right? You can hit it like we just said. You don't have to necessarily stick it through the heart, right? The lungs, the liver is a vital organ that can kill a deer quickly. Gut shot deer will die if you give them the time, right? Like, there is that margin of error, but you are killing the deer through blood loss from slicing vital organs, right? When you blast that thing with a gun, yes, there is blood, but there's shock damage that is not there with a bow. Obviously, this isn't new information, right? But it's just like, the margin of error on a bow is quite slim relative to a gun. But anyway, real quick wrap up to that. So in total, there were 7 arrows released at camp, and there was 1 deer recovered.
Oh, shit.
So Kevin's dad on Sunday, what was it? So I shot at that buck on Sunday morning. Yeah, so Sunday evening. No, I'm sorry, Sunday morning as well. We get back to camp, and Kevin's dad says, "You are not going to believe what happened." Well, he had already been texting Kevin and his other son, Sean. And so I'm like, okay, what's the story? He goes, "Jason, I had to get out of the tree because I ran out of arrows." I'm like, what are you talking about? So he had this buck come in and came out in front of him, open, clear shot in the woods, draws back, shoots, arrow goes right underneath it. He's like, "Man, that's crazy. Like my left to right was perfect. Like, how did I miss that thing?" The deer takes like 2 steps, doesn't even care, looking around, doesn't know what happened. He's like, "Okay," puts another arrow on, draws, shoots, arrow goes right under it again. It's like, what the hell? That time, the deer, kind of bounded away. He's like, "Oh, well, there goes that opportunity." The deer turns around, walks back through the same spot in the woods, draws, shoots, right under it again. So now he's shot 3 times at the same deer. The deer bounds off in another direction, but kind of like cloverleaf, right? Like circles back through. He draws his last arrow. He shoots under it again. He's shot all 4 of his arrows. The deer walks away. 50 yards away, it makes a scrape and keeps walking. It was not like spooked. It didn't run away. Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
So he's like, what the hell happened? He pulls out his rangefinder, and I've had this happen too in this part of the property where it's very open hardwoods. There's not much undergrowth, and you misjudge distance. He assumed, and he's hunted this stand for years. He looked at that deer and said, "That deer is 25 yards away," put his 25-yard pin on it, and the deer was north of 35 yards away. And he shot underneath it every single time, and he just kept trusting his yardage estimate and not adjusting for that. So he shot all of his arrows, never touched the deer. The deer made a scrape and walked away.
So I
ahead.
changed to a single sight or a single pin.
Yeah.
Years ago, because of that same issue, is that like when you have multiple pins, when the adrenaline's going and you have like a decent deer in front of you, like you might make that shot and not even remember which pin you used.
Yeah.
Right?
Just put all of them on there.
Right. Like I've done some weird shit and missed deer.
Yeah.
I've completely missed deer doing that. Once I changed to a single sight pin, like I have to range them though. Right, because like that single sight pin works out. There's a dial on it that I dialed the range to it, and it was night and day. If you're not shooting one of those single sights, I shoot like an HHA. I can't remember what the exact model it is, but like it's money. It takes a little bit of time and takes a little bit of practice to like dial it in and get it like completely where it needs to be. But once it is, like I haven't changed my left to right in 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't, as long as I don't change the weight of my arrow at all, the length or the weight of my arrow, like I can literally just dial to that range. And I was so impressed with it. Like I've never shot over like normally like 30 yards. I'm practicing at 30 yards, 40 yards is as far as I'll even just practice for fun.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm drilling it at 40 yards. I'm drilling it at 30. And the closer you get, the easier it gets. But I was like, I'm going to test this out. And I had a cornfield cut cornfield behind my house. I set the target out at 60 yards, or I just walked it out there like a good distance. Came back, or I shot my my laser rangefinder back at my house, and I'm like at about 60 yards. So I go back to my house, and I dial it to 60 yards. And I'm like quickly down under this bitch, and I let her fly. And I mean, I didn't hit the 10 ring, but I'm like, I'm good enough to like kill a deer at. And I'm like, shit. Like,
nice.
This is a game changer, man. So like that helped me with like, the problem is that I have to laser range find the deer. Either that or what I do is like, I'll laser range find. I'll use my laser rangefinder on trees.
Yep.
On this tree, that tree, that tree. And I know this is 20 yards, this is 30 yards, this is 40 yards. And then like I that way, and I try to keep that, and I'll do that several times while I'm sitting in the stand. One, you're sitting there, you're bored, right? So I'm like, how far is that?
Do something.
How far is that? How far is that? So I've got everything lazed. And even then, like if I have the time, if I have the ability, like I'll even shoot the deer with it. You know, once the deer comes in, all right, that's 37 yards. I will dial it directly to 37 yards, and now I'm just trying to make that shot. You know, and that has helped me a ton with my accuracy and being able to shoot. You know, being able to shoot more deer with a bow. But like you can't practice enough when it comes to archery. But we all do it. Like I mean, work has got the better of me this fall, and like this was not my plan at all. I had big plans this hunting season, and they have gone to shit.
You had 150 plans.
I had 150 plans this year, and they all went to shit. So I might get out this weekend. I'm fingers crossed that I can get out this weekend, and I can get in a tree stand with a bow. However, I have yet to shoot my bow.
Oh my
so
God.
I'm hoping that I can get out of work fast enough tomorrow. It's Friday. I'm hoping that, well, you know, I got a lot of shit going on, but I'm hoping I can get out quick enough to be able to get home, set up my target before it gets fucking dark now, because it gets dark at like 4:00, and set up my target and wing a few arrows at it so that I can be out in the tree stand at least by tomorrow or Saturday afternoon. So,
well, I have a novice hunter question for you guys. I don't mean to cut you off.
Real quick, Dan.
Yeah.
That's all right. I want to tell you. So that was 4 arrows. My arrow was number 5. Kevin did shoot an 8-point. That was arrow number 6. Arrow number 7 is his dad, again, is out hunting, has a buck come behind him, and he draws his bow back. And when he draws his bow, the deer saw him, so it didn't keep walking. And so he couldn't get his bow far enough over because of the trunk of the tree, right? Obviously, that was preventing it. He went to let his bow down, and he hit the release, and his arrow shot off and stuck into a tree.
Oh, my God, man. We need to have this guy on.
So that arrow is now stuck in a tree. It will be in that tree forever. And so, yeah, there were essentially 7 shots at deer in the 5-day trip, and unfortunately only one recovered. One resulted in a recovered buck.
Hey, Jason, what's the longest draw you've ever had on a deer? Meaning, how long have you had to hold a draw?
Oh, not long. Like
I normally don't either.
Seconds.
I'm back, I'm on, it's gone.
Yeah.
But so one of the things I used to practice and a buddy got me into was drawing, holding 30 seconds, and then making a shot. And as a practice, as a way to practice. So he came over and we're drinking beer and shit and shooting bows, and I'd draw and he'd start the timer. And you're holding that.
Gosh.
You're holding it, and there's no adrenaline in it or anything. So you're just like, oh shit, 30 seconds is a long ass time, man. Wow. And then you have to shoot when he says go. You got to shoot, and you're like, you'd be amazed at how bad your accuracy falls after holding for 30 seconds. But not a bad tactic for if you want to try to mimic or some kind of condition. But most of the time I shoot, but I have had to let down. I'm at draw and I've had to hold it. And I swear to God, I probably held that thing. It felt like I held it for 17 minutes. And then you're just like, all right. And then all of a sudden the deer moves out of range, or it moves in an area you can't shoot. So I'm like, you got to let it down. How hard is it to let down a bow when you've got a deer in front of you and you're trying to do it slowly and you're letting down 70 pounds? You're like, oh my God, man. I had a lot of nightmares in the tree stand. That's what I love about bow hunting, because it's Ryan said it. I think he said it tonight at some point. He could have, how many deer he could have killed with his rifle, right?
All the deer.
I mean, that's fun too. Killing deer is definitely fun, but the process of it, I think, is, you got to enjoy that process. That's all part of it. Dan, you had a question about something.
No, it's okay. So there's one thing before I ask a question. So Jason, I just wanted to kind of circle back to your story from a non-hunting background, such as myself, right? Obviously novice. Everybody fucking knows that. I think you did the best that you could possibly do with trying to recover that deer. I know Bob and Ryan have said it, but
Sure.
you know, and I think everybody will agree. You know, I mean, you went above and beyond to make sure that your decision to stop tracking was the right decision. You know, you weren't going to stop until you were 100% comfortable. And even though you're still not comfortable now because, you know, you have morals bigger than most people, you know, I feel like, you know, you did a fine job. So I just wanted to make sure that we aired that out and made sure that was said. So,
yeah. And I think just real quick, I think like based on what you told me in that story, I don't think that deer died, which hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better, because it would make me feel better.
Right.
If you feel like that deer didn't die, if you're confident that that deer's dead and you don't find it, that's gut wrenching, man. But
he's walking up to his friends and be like, I got a fucking arrow and
my arm hurts real bad.
I hope
from Michigan.
I hope when they
I have another fun story here. I think we've told it on this podcast at some point, but all right, so like kind of live and die by like hit it high, say goodbye. Right? Especially from an elevated position, you hit it high, like you're not getting deep enough or low enough into like some of the vital organs. So a guy I know, pretty close with this guy, been hunting with him for years, right? Probably since I was just a young lad. Shoots a deer with a bow, and it's had to be late October, early November. Shoots it. We tracked this son of a bitch, I swear to God, 2 miles. Like, maybe not 2 miles, maybe a mile. But it was like, we tracked this deer, and it bled. It bled really good. Bled, I don't know. We, like, easily tracked this thing a solid 500-600 yards. Anyway, we back out, go back, check the next day, can't find anything, call it quits. Again, gut-wrenching type thing. Nice buck. And fast forward, like maybe it had been December, because I think it was muzzleloader. Nice buck comes in front of him. Boom, takes a shot. Knocks the deer. We get the deer, or track the deer a little ways. We find it. Cool, dead deer. We take it over to my uncle, who used to cut up deer, and we skin the thing out. And we find this giant mass on the side of this thing where something had hit this thing high in the rib cage, and definitely did not kill it, but you could tell it was definitely hit by a broadhead at some point. That person happens to be on this podcast right now.
Dan?
I think I told that story like I don't know, a couple months ago, maybe. Recently, I feel like I told that story.
The moral of it, or the moral of that story, I mean, retelling it is to give you a little bit of, hopefully a little bit of closure on the deer that, like, if you think you hit it high, you hit it forward and high, like there's a high chance that deer will survive it. Yeah, he's going to be hurt. He's going to be a little fucked up. Yeah. Maybe next year he's got a little weird rack. Who knows? But, because they do tend to do that, like when they're wounded and things like that. Like they tend to grow, like their horns tend to mimic wounds and things like that. But yeah, that definitely happened, and that deer would have survived it. Probably would have survived. Definitely would have survived the winter. Yeah. Like it had created like a sack around it that was like it was wild. And like
I hope those guys. You know, I hope somebody sees it. Their gun season out there will open the same day as ours. New York, their gun season does not open on a specific date, like a number of the calendar. It opens, I think it's like what would that be? The third Saturday in November happens to be the 15th based on how the calendar fell. So I hope somebody in their group sees that deer or shoots that deer, you know, and again, there's another way to get some closure. But yeah, like you said, that's funny to see that thing a month or two later and whack him and skin it and go, hey, wait a minute.
Fully healthy, completely healthy.
Yeah.
Like walking. Well, I think back then that was years and years ago. So I think we could bait back then. Like that deer was just coming in, get a little bite to eat.
Yeah.
Boom, gets a smoke pole, but Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we could
that
do
was wild. I'd never seen that.
We could do a whole podcast on like the mishaps, or the deer we
Yeah.
didn't find, the bad shots we
Yeah.
made, or just bad luck. Because, dude, so many things can go wrong, right? Like you watch these hunting shows. Like I watch Red Arrow a lot, and most of his videos when he's shooting a deer, he shows like slow motion. Well, you see him take the shot and you see how fast that deer reacts. Like when they all of a sudden they drop down, and how fast that arrow is flying. Either he's taking a step forward at the same time that you're releasing, he's dropping down because he hears the string, and that's how fast they react. Like so many things can go wrong when you make a shot. It's very possible that you didn't do anything wrong, Jason. Like maybe
it could have taken a step, it could have moved. Exactly.
Right. At the very same time that you were releasing the string, he was moving at the same time, and it all happened so fast that like that's the way it goes sometimes. I mean, how far? Like you aimed right behind the shoulder, I'm assuming, right?
Right. That's where you're holding. Exactly.
Right. So like if it doesn't take much for all of a sudden that arrow to fly, 2 inches forward, and all of a sudden you hit shoulder, and something happens, or he moves, he turns something. Like, I mean, again, it's a tough thing. Bow hunting is a challenge. It's so much easier than the deer comes in 20 yards, stands broadside, you shoot it and they just drop. Like it just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, there are those that happen like that. Like,
I shot
shots. I call them.
I shot a doe last year that came in at 20 yards. I shot it, and the fucker ran 30 yards. I watched it drop. I'm like, it doesn't get any better than that. But that is not the norm when it comes to bow hunting. Like more deer that I've shot with a bow, and I've shot more deer with my bow than a gun by far. But there's more deer that I've shot with my bow that it's been somewhat of a challenge to find them sometimes, even though I made a good shot or hit a vital. It's just sometimes you just lose blood, the hole clogs up. Who knows what it is? Like sometimes it's the way it goes, man.
It's so funny how you try to like decipher through the blood trail, like how the deer was hit too, like because you're looking at everything. You're looking at like how the blood is being either sprayed on the ground, dripped on the ground, whether it's high, whether it's low. Sometimes you'll see the deer will rub against a tree or grass or something like that. So you're like trying to decipher that, or like you were saying, the bubbles in the blood, the color of the blood. The only thing I'll say about
analysts.
right. Yeah. Everybody turns into CSI,
forensic analysts,
CSI, outdoorsman. And we're like, you'll pick up a leaf and sniff the blood, right? Because you can honestly tell the difference between a liver hit, a gut hit, or possibly something else, right? I don't smell like something deep, dark, and gross. That's good, right? If it just smells like blood, like, all right, cool. But like, it's funny how we go through that. We go through those motions, and you're going through it in your head 1,000 times of how that went down. Like the big buck that I killed that I mounted. Like that deer came in, same thing, circled behind me. And I had to like go around the tree to make the shot. And I had one small window, and he was quartering super hard towards me. So like when I drew and he's looking at me as I drew, like he caught me in motion, and I'm like, it's now or never, but how can I do this? Like that split second, like thought process was like super fast. Like, I don't know, AI could not have calculated how fast I did. Like where I was going to put that fucking arrow. And I shifted from behind the shoulder to in front of the shoulder, and I put it in his neck, or like what would seem like his neck, but it was in the front of the shoulder. Because I, again, like quickly calculated in my head, where do I want that arrow to come out? If I was still behind the shoulder, I was coming out his guts. That's how hard he was quartering. So it's like those weird things. And like, I gambled with it. It was a bad shot. Shouldn't probably not have taken out a buck like that. But how many bucks like that have I had in front of me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I can do this. I can do this. I have faith. I have faith in my ability to do this at 20 fucking yards. And I also have faith in my equipment. Like, I'm going to do it. And
You're
exactly
right. You're exactly right. You're like, I am accurate with my bow. I'm confident in my equipment. This shot in your example and my example, like this shot is in my range. Even if it's tight quarters and a small window, the things that I can control, I'm confident in. And in your example, you hit where you're aiming, buried it, deer's dead, like good ending to the story.
Right.
Other examples, it doesn't quite go that right. And you're just like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, and you second guess it. You second guess it
Yeah.
like in any way that you can, right? Like,
Yep,
and
yep.
you're
If that
you're gonna autopsy that for the rest
Yeah.
of the season. You're gonna
if
run
that
that through
deer
your head.
dies, if that deer dies and I find it, I go, yep, look at that, 20 yards away through the opening. I knew I could do it.
Yep, no big deal. I'll do that all day.
That deer's
Right?
going to
Like,
eat you for a
but
while, Jason.
Yeah. I said it's probably going to be on my mind until my next successful bow kill, right?
it
Like
will
I'm
be.
going to have to reset the switch.
It will. It haunts you until you can flip the switch on that, because
Yeah.
it's like that was the last
Yeah.
failure, or that was the not failure. It's not a failure. If you learn something from it, it's not a failure.
Yep.
And like you didn't find the deer. Obviously,
hmm
like the deer's probably still alive, right? But it's that what if factor. I get it, man.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Bob,
It's tough. We've all been there.
Do you remember that buck I shot up in Onaway a few years ago?
Yeah.
That we
Yeah, it
tracked
was a
forever?
nice buck.
That fucker is still on my mind. Same situation, Jason.
Yeah.
That's still to this day the biggest buck I've ever shot. And
Yeah.
Bob and I tracked that for, I don't know how far it was. It seemed like a very long ways that we tracked it. Went back the next day,
Yeah.
and that was, I think we were doing the podcast at the time. It was around the time that we started
Yep.
the podcast when that happened, because we had talked about, do we call in dogs or not? And it was one of those things where that deer never laid down once in the all that whole yardage that we had tracked. And I just felt after 2 days and not blood just drying up, I probably hit the shoulder. This thing's probably going to survive. And I felt confident that it wasn't dead. So I didn't bother with the dogs, but it still eats me, man. I still play back that entire sequence of everything that happened, because that buck came in the night before and I almost got a shot at it chasing some does, and I got a good look at it. Then it came in the next morning, and I, it's just, it still fucking eats at me. You're never going to forget it. You're going to remember that story forever. You're going to tell your kids about that story if you ever have.
I don't
Like you
know.
said,
I don't know that I can remember all the deer that I've shot. Like, right? That's as bad as that sounds, but I can definitely remember every one that I wounded and didn't recover.
Sure.
I can recall every single one of them stories.
Like
Those
every
ones,
fish that gets away.
those ones scar you in a way that that I think only makes you a better hunter. Right.
Yep.
It only causes you to practice more, or to go to replay scenarios, or to maybe not go through that same scenario again. Right. Or maybe to not take that shot next time, or to maybe wait an extra step, or whatever it might be. Like, again, like you said at the beginning, like, I think there's more to learn from it than there is,
Yeah. Like you
I'm just going to throw this.
From
I'm just going to
being
throw this out there.
Go ahead, Dan.
Throw this out there. I'm batting 1,000. So.
All right, Dan, what is the question that you had 20 minutes ago?
Oh,
Okay,
an hour and 6 minutes ago, Dan had a question.
Yeah, I did.
Deer Camp special. We haven't talked about Deer Camp. We're an hour in.
The Roadcaster's not recording.
Perfect. Well, we got Riverside.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
let's start over.
Welcome to the Terrible Outdoorsman.
Memory card says 0 hours.
Where all your dreams come true.
Jeez. All right. Well,
where all your dreams come in a wacky tool.
What the hell? Okay, so my question that I asked an hour and 37 minutes ago now. Do you guys ever practice your bow hunting in low light situations?
No, but should I? Yes.
I've shot and in low light, like the evenings, late evenings, and stuff like that. Maybe not on purpose. maybe, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe,
it's after
maybe,
work.
yeah, maybe I just got off work or I had too many Coors Lattes, and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot my bow, or something like that. But like, I have shot with gloves. I do that because most of the time that I'm hunting, I'm wearing gloves, and it's a different feeling on the release than it is without them. Like certain like situations, I do shoot. When I practice, I shoot from a seated position a lot. So like a lot of times we're standing, right? And we're freehanding, standing, and those kind of things, and like that's kind of the standard way that everybody's going to shoot their bow. But how often? I mean, you have a deer come in super quick on you. Are you really going to stand if you have to? Like I've shot way more deer from still seated position than standing. So like a lot of times when I'm shooting at a target, even if I'm shooting level, I like to shoot elevated when I could. We used to practice this as a kid. You can ask Ryan. Like we used to set up a tree stand on a telephone pole in our backyard and and shoot at targets and stuff like that. But like in recent years, I don't do that here around my house, but like I will just pop up like a camp chair and sit in it and then draw and shoot from a seated position because you have to get used to that. It's a different kind of draw, right? It's a different way to move you can't get your whole body into a draw when you're in a seated position. So it's really just, and I do try to draw like I'm drawing. Yeah, I do mimic some of those things that you go through in a tree stand because I think that's important to like, you know, um, or rehearse or to practice the way you're going to play type thing. So,
Agreed.
One thing that I'll do is so in my quiver I'll have a couple arrows with broadheads, and then I'll always have one arrow with just a field point on it. And after a morning hunt, I'll pick out a leaf or something on the ground that's 20 yards, 15, 25, whatever it may be, and take a practice shot just while you're up there and like get a chance to fling an arrow from that elevated position. Because I don't get much opportunity to shoot elevated. So it is nice to take a few shots while you're out there from a stand. And if it's a bad shot and you're not even close to the leaf, you're like, okay, glad I got that one out of the way.
that's actually a good idea.
I come by.
If it's a good shot and you skewer the leaf, you're like, oh shit, I wasted that one on a leaf.
I'm going to put that idea in my quiver. Get it?
Oh,
No, that is a good idea though. Like like you sat in the tree stand for 3 hours in the morning and you're bored out of your fucking mind and you're like, you got to shoot something, right? Even if it's a leaf. Why not? No, I like that. I might do that.
Interesting.
So Dan, what do you got on the screen here? What do we?
Yeah. So so obviously we're doing, I think you're kind of quiet for me too. That's really weird. So we're doing some, obviously video episodes and stuff. So I wanted to kind of take this time, to show you guys a bit of property that I have access to. And I was really curious if you guys could tell the listeners, being that you guys have never hunted this property before, what are some things that you guys would look at to try and spot, sit for a spot when you're not on the ground yet? So when you go into Google, find the plot of land that you're going to hunt, what are some things that you see on your screen right now that you would look for and be like, that would be an interesting spot to go kind of investigate?
You're talking the one right in the middle?
Yeah. So it's from this brown field right here, all the way down to this road here, all the way over to this.
Oh, so those three fields are all the same property.
Yep. So this whole big rectangle right here.
Why the fuck aren't you hunting this?
How many acres?
We'll talk about it another time.
Oh, I know the story.
So
I want to say it's a total of 60 acres.
So that the crosshairs in the center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
if that 100%.
Right here.
That would be my focus in there, is to see what kind of, obviously see what kind of sign that you can see in that. I mean, one is the middle of your property or of the property. But also, I mean, you have 3 adjoining fields in that area. So like, I guess, I mean, you have some hardwoods off to like. So in this particular case, like I'm guessing this is maybe 20 acres,
Yeah, like in here.
40. No, the whole
Yeah,
thing. How?
I want to say it's
What's
a total of 60.
60? So you got to be careful when it like hunting edges of the property. So like your field edges along the, if this is north and south, I don't know how this is
Yeah,
oriented, but
this is due west on the top and due east to the bottom.
all right. So to the like your
Wow, that
property.
confuses me.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this like it's north, south, east, west, right? Like so, just to make it easy. I mean, I guess you could turn it. There you go.
All right, now we're looking north.
All right, now we're looking north. So I guess like on your north and south boundaries, north, south, east, and west boundary. Like so, you're really not going to hunt the your eastern boundary on here. You do have a patch of woods in there. Might be good. Who knows? But like, I would focus everything in what would be the northwest corner, mostly
Yep.
towards like that hardwoods and stuff like that. Be careful about boundaries too, because like you shoot a deer and it crosses the boundaries, like you might not ever get a chance to even look for it. I mean, that's the way some property owners are. Is that like if they won't even let you come on their property, and they don't have to. You shoot a deer, it crosses that property line, it could die, and you could see it in the middle of that field to the north. You're never, and then be like, nope, you're not allowed to come get it, and that's law. Like you can't.
Yeah.
So like I would focus my like I said, where the crosshairs are there, like that corners feels like money to me just because of where everything kind of converges. Deer like they tend to, I don't know why, but like you see them in the corner of a field a lot of times,
I was
right?
gonna
Like
say those inside
Mhm.
corners, yeah.
yeah, like they just tend to like I guess hold to like or not venture too far into like a middle of a field or anything like that. So I would always hunt a like all those fence rows probably really good, right? Like those deer probably bed in those fence rows and just go out into the fields and eat and stuff like that. So like, but
Yeah, it's
I would
interesting that you say
where
that.
those fence rows converge.
It's interesting that you say that because this obviously the house over here to the east, and then there's a road, there's a path. So there's actually no fence that separates the two fields. It's just a patch of trees and a walk path. And the path goes all the way down. And so whenever like I used to go out here to cut the grass, right? I used to cut the lawn out here all the time. And anytime I would see deer, they were literally from here down to about right there and then to here and then to the woods. I couldn't see anything on this side of the field, on this field, obviously, but anytime I ever saw deer, to your point, they were right in these corners of these two fields.
Right. And like, if you could put some, you might even be able to position because those three corners to those three fields are all kind of converged together. You might be able to put, like, I would put a stand kind of right in the middle of that shit if you can find the right tree, because you might be able to shoot on any one of those three corners. Like that's a cool spot. Like that's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, but there's probably some of it's going to be dictated by like actual deer movement too. So it's going to be like you have to actually go out there and see. This time of year is great to go out there and scout that for like next year because you're going to see where they're rubbing, right? Where the bucks are moving, where the rubs are at, where the scrapes are at, and be able to see kind of like what's happening, and then that'll dictate where you might hang stands or you might put a blind next year. But if you're going to set up like a ground blind to go like do like some gun hunting or something like that, like gun and bow, kind of different setups in different times of year too. So like for a gun setup, I would probably focus my attention on either that north field or that southwest field. That would probably be where I would want.
You can see the top of the ground blind. There's one
Yeah.
right here. And it's a like a hut, an elevated shack. And in this there's like a clearing. You can't really see it very good on the map, but there's a clearing right in here, like pretty much from each corner that kind of wraps around. And then there's like I don't know, I'd probably say a 20-foot lane 20-foot wide lane that goes from this corner to pretty much down here of the cornfield, and then basically the same up this way too.
What do they plant there? What's in there this year? Do you know?
Corn, and this year it was soybeans.
So soybeans. So like they'll cut the soybeans. If not, they may have cut them already.
They're cut already, yeah.
If they're cut already, like some of that residual shit from when they cut them will be laying. So you'll see deer in the fields of trying to pick up some of the scraps. But like later in the when you're thinking about gun season or late gun season and stuff like that, like they're deer solely focused on food after the rut, right? Because the bucks are drained from chasing does for the last month, so all they're focused on is food. So like I would probably focus my attention on whatever might be left in these fields. Soybean can be tough, but like when it's cut corn, like if that was all cornfields and that was cut corn, I'd be living on that motherfucker until the end of the year. Like cut corn in a situation like that would be money. You'd see deer every night.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get a cell cam, put it up probably right in this corner somewhere.
Like in the size of those fields, I'd invest in like a 450 or a 350 Legend or something like that, and like you could pop deer all the way across those fields.
Pluck off some people that live in this house over here.
Oh shit!
But no, well, cool. Yeah, I hope the listeners, or the viewers, I should say, for those of you that are listening, go check out our YouTube page. You can
look at you look to like natural funnels and stuff like that. Like what is going to funnel deer activity, like and pinch points and things like that. Like deer will gravitate. Like they travel, they stick to cover, right? Because cover is safe. So like the thick shit, they're going to stay there. So I don't know where that blind's at. Looks like it might be a little bit sparse, but like then you look like you might have hardwoods over here to the west a little bit.
Yeah.
To the western side of that might look like all hardwoods, but it'd be hard to tell unless I'm on the ground and I can see how thick that shit is. But if that's super thick, that's money, man. Because those deer are going to bed in there, they're going to go out to feed, they're going to come back, and that's just going to be their corridor. You just have to find those runs. So you got to find where those deer are moving from bedding to food. There's only a couple things that drive deer. Their stomachs and breeding, and they only breed for a couple times a year and for short periods of time when they do it. So like other than that, it's their stomach, and they eat about every 4 hours. So like all you gotta do is find food. Like
it's kind of what drives me too. That's interesting.
Yep.
It's kind of what drives all of nature, right?
Food and mating.
And we actually have access
to this. I just won't fucking eat.
We have access to property across the street too, and this is all just money.
And this is all like I think I know the area that you're talking about. Like I think you mentioned it before, and this is big buck country out here. They probably shoot some fucking monsters out of this area.
Yeah.
If you got access to that, like you should definitely capitalize on it, man.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, cool. Well, thanks for explaining that. I appreciate that. I've been wanting to pick your guys' brain, and I knew this would be a good opportunity on Deer Camp Special.
Worst case scenario, just fucking pop up a blind somewhere on the edge of that field and just watch. Just see what they do.
Right here. Yeah.
See what they do.
What it do.
All right. Good deal.
Well, Jason, I didn't have as much luck as you had with shooting deer, but I saw lots of deer.
There you go.
So I want to talk about that real quick. I had a pretty eventful week in hunting. I hunted pretty hard this week. And anybody that's watching the video, I'm covered in face paint because I literally left the woods and came right here. I didn't know if we were doing this tonight, depending on whether or not I shot one. So
yeah, this was all pending deer.
Yeah. So clearly I didn't shoot one because I'm here.
You're just letting her lay.
Yeah. So anyway, so I took off Thursday and Friday off of work like I do every year. Every year I've been taking November 6th and November 7th off just to hunt, because that's like anytime you read on best days of the rut, it's always November 6th and November 7th. So it hasn't worked for me yet. Still hasn't. But So
Maybe you should play those numbers on Keno and pick 2 different numbers to hunt on.
No shit. But so I took Thursday, Friday off, and then I was at work on Sunday, and I was looking at the weather forecast, and they were showing like a 90% chance of rain on Friday. And I'm like, I don't want to burn a day off on a day it's going to just rain. So I was like, you know what? I got pretty good coverage at my store. I'm going to take Monday off work just to do it. Like weather looked good, deer cast looked good. So I'm like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to hunt Monday morning. I couldn't hunt at night, but I was like, at least I can get a morning hunt. Hadn't hunted in the morning yet all year. And so I'm like, whatever. I'm going to get up early and get out there. So I did. I got out there and I was trying to figure out like what time to get out there. And like they say sunrise is like 7:00 or something. And I'm like, well, I know that's not like when I should be in the stand. So I went off of what the shooting light was or legal shooting hours was, which was like 6:30. So I got in the stand at like probably 6:20, 6:25. And I don't know how the fuck they think people can shoot at 6:30. It doesn't make any sense, dude. I couldn't see a damn thing, let alone shoot an animal walking in front of me. And it was crystal clear out. And there was a little bit of moon out, and I still couldn't see. So those hours are fucked up. Tell the DNR that, would you?
Turn your flashlight up. You'll see them.
Yeah, right. The same with the nighttime, too, like the last shooting hours. No reason somebody should be shooting a deer that late. But anyways, so after about 10, 15 minutes of sitting in the stand on Monday, all of a sudden the deer started moving. And from that point forward, I never went more than like 10 minutes without having some deer around me. I had does everywhere. I had small bucks around me. I think I saw 5 different bucks on Monday morning. And then I'm sitting there I think it was about 8:00 or so. And I had already seen like a dozen deer. And I'm like pretty much on high alert at this point because like there's fucking deer everywhere around me at this moment in time. And all of a sudden a spike comes up behind me. And I heard some, there's a million squirrels out there. So I didn't hear. I got to the point where I stopped turning my head because it's like I can't tell what the fuck's a deer and what the squirrel is. But I happened to just look over my right shoulder and there's a little spike horn looking right up at me 10 yards below me. I'm like, oh, you fucker.
Hey, little buddy.
Right? You little bastard. And he's just staring at me. And I'm like, man, don't start fucking blowing and stomping when all these deer around me. Like, just fuck off, would you? Luckily, he turns and walks in the other direction. But I'm spending my time watching him just because I'm looking at him, so I don't want to turn my head, right? So like I probably spent a good 5 minutes just making sure I don't turn my head, so he'll just fuck off in a different direction. He eventually does. He just turns, and so as soon as I do that, I look back over my left shoulder and I see like 6 deer out in the field. That's about the edge of the field's about 35 yards or so from me, but the deer are about maybe 75 yards out there, and all of a sudden I just see horns. I'm one of them. And I'm like, oh shit. And I didn't even think, like, I know there's deer all through the woods, and I literally just stood up. Like, I didn't even care if the other deer around me, because I wanted to, like, it was to my left, and it was almost like almost behind me a little bit. So like I couldn't turn like and look through my binoculars to see it. So I stood up, and my tree stand's got the seat that you like raise up.
Yep.
So I raised the seat up real. I think you got the same one, Jason. I raised it up super slowly, and again, there's deer like 30 yards around me, and I'm trying to do this so like none of these get spooked. So I do it. I pull it off, or no deer even know that I'm there. Grab my binos, and I look through the scope, and I can see it's like my number one shooter buck that I have. He's still not like a giant, but he is the biggest buck that we've had on camera. It's the one that I've sent you guys a couple times. He's a beautiful 8-point, and he's out there, and he's just, I don't even know what the fuck's in this field. They didn't plan anything. It's just like overgrown bullshit. But there's like 6 does, and then this big buck's out there with them. And I'm standing, I'm watching them through my binos for, I don't know, my bow's still hanging up at this moment because I know he's 75 yards away, and I'm thinking like, he's probably not going to fucking come this way, but hey, it's cool. I get Well, after a couple minutes, all of a sudden I see 2 of the does break away, and they start walking directly towards the tree stand. And all of a sudden he picks his head up, sees them walking, and he just starts trotting right behind them. And all of a sudden my fucking heart literally leaping out of my chest, man.
Yeah.
like to the point where it fucking hurt. I'm
Yeah.
like I'm shaking.
The guy's having a cardiac event in the
Oh,
stand.
100%, man. Like, holy shit. Like, and I don't know, like the deer I shot up in the UP a couple years ago, I didn't have enough time for all that to build up. It was just like I saw the deer, pulled the gun up, I shot, and then all of a sudden the emotions came afterwards. This one, it was like a buildup of like getting excited because the deer were coming in. Then I saw it. Then it started walking towards me, and it was just like JoJo, the Indian circus boy, fucking losing my mind.
It was like foreplay.
Right. Well, the two
hold on. Did you say JoJo, the Indian circus man?
Yeah.
I love
From
that.
Tommy
With a pretty new pet.
I love that so much, man. That's great.
All right. So the two does are walking right towards the edge of the woods. And right before they get to the edge of the woods, they split and one walks, like keeps bearing right towards me. The other one cuts a little bit to my south. And so I'm watching them both, and I see the buck still coming. One doe turns and she walks 20 yards broadside right in front of me. Or roll, I guess it'd be to my left, or left of my tree stand. Walks right there and just munching on some acorns, like just walking slow. The other one cuts directly behind me. And I'm thinking, I'm at this point, I've grabbed my bow. I'm holding my bow. All I got to do is just pull up and shoot. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, turn, motherfucker, turn, just fucking turn, like walk this way. I'm saying it in my head. I might even be singing out loud at this point.
You're singing it.
And sure enough, he turns and he cuts south. He follows that. And they're both mature does. They're not like one's a little, one's a big one. They're both mature does. And he turns south and he follows that one. I'm like, you rotten motherfucker. And at one point, and I had done the same thing that Bob said. Like I had already ranged out a bunch of spots. When I saw that buck out there and they started walking, I grabbed my rangefinder real quick and I just hit a couple things. And I was like, I knew like 40 was probably my max I was willing to take. But I ranged a few other spots and I'm like, all right, well, that's 50. If he for some reason stopped in that point, like maybe I take it. Well, he was just outside of that spot and there was like some brush and shit where I never really got a clear shot because everything on this between me and the brush was wide open but he was on the other side of that brush. Anything before the brush is like 45 yards and I probably would have taken a shot.
Yeah.
He gets past the brush and gets directly south of the tree stand. And I've got one little window and I'm still holding my bow, but I hit him with the rangefinder and it's like 52 yards. And that's the only window. And it's a small window to make the shot. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's not like if it was wide open, I'm using a gun rest. Like, okay, that's a different story. But and it was behind the tree. So I'd have to like lean out from behind the tree. And I'm like, I'm not even going to think about trying it. So he keeps walking and he's just going slow. Following this doe is a little bit ahead of him. And he gets to a point where I'm like, I'm still watching him, hoping that he turns and he cuts like to my right, maybe. And it gets to the point where I realize like, all right, she's still beelining away from me. He's not going anywhere. So I get on the grunt and he's still like 60 yards behind me, 65 maybe. I hit the grunt a couple times and he doesn't even pick his head up. His ears don't flinch, doesn't fucking budge, doesn't give a shit. I'm like, all right. So I pull out the little bleak can that I've got.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't fucking budge. He just keeps walking real slow, rakes a tree that was out there. Just, I don't know if it looked like he was starting to make a scrape and he just kind of walked off in the distance. You motherfucker. 10 yards, man. All you had to do was follow the other doe or just walk on the other side of that brush. That's how close it was to getting a shot. Fucking terrible. Man.
That's
it was an
the
exciting experience, but
when I sit up there in the tree stand with a bow in my hand and I look around, I think, you're telling me that a deer is going to get within 20 yards of this tree? Come on. That's not going to happen.
Like 40 yards. What's funny is what's funny is when like the stars align with Venus in the age of Aquarius, and then the next thing you know, that is exact scenario fucking happens, right? And this fucking buck comes right in there, and you're like, I could like, what are you doing here? Like, you're supposed to do that.
Why are you
like,
here?
You just did. Like, why are you? All right, I guess I have to fucking kill you now.
Yeah.
But it's that's
we're
weird.
back. I don't know what happened, Bob, but we're back. We had a short in the mainframe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stars aligned.
Yeah, the matrix. I guess we took the red pill instead of the blue pill.
I started talking, and Jason's like, "Hold on a second. I think we lost them."
Yeah, we were just sitting here.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything went
Shit,
dark.
Everything went dark, like except for the lights, but all the electronics went dark. It's fucking weird. Like we got EMP'd or something. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know what we were. Oh, I was telling my story of the almost nice buck that I shot on Monday, which only would have happened had I not looked at the weather and changed my mind and took the day off work. So I think it was worthy of taking the day off work.
It was a success. You had an encounter.
Yeah, it was exciting. It got me pretty fired up. So today I was going to do a full day sit. I couldn't do it though. I couldn't quite do a full day sit. So same thing, got out there early this morning, almost the exact same time. Well, actually, no, it was the exact same time because it crossed my mind as I'm walking out. It's a fuck of a lot lighter today than it was the previous day. I don't know why. It was very weird, but I didn't even have to walk out with my flashlight, but it was almost the exact same time, like to the minute. But
daylight savings time.
No, it was still daylight savings time on Monday.
That's special.
But anyway, so I'll make a long story short. This morning, I didn't see any big bucks, but I saw at least 20 deer this morning, and half of them I could have shot, but they were all smaller bucks. They were a few of the big does I could have shot, but I just, after what I saw on Monday of that buck following that doe, I'm like, I'm not going to shoot a doe right now because if they're obviously following. And then
I'll tell you what, if I get in the tree stand this weekend, like I'm gonna have a hard time passing even on a doe. Like I'm ready.
I wasn't going to like
I am hungry.
My plan on Monday was to shoot a doe, but it just after seeing like before I saw that big buck, I didn't have any mature does that I really gave me a good opportunity. This morning, I had multiple mature does that were walking right in front of me that I could have shot, and I just after what I saw Monday, I was like, I'm good. But I did see 2 bucks, younger bucks, like 6 points, that were chasing does through the woods, which was exciting to see. Like they were just chasing those fuckers all around, and you can see they're like out of breath and shit. And then so I went out tonight and kind of pulled an audible, and so I was debating on 2 different stands. We got 3 stands that are out there. Well, I guess we have more than 3 stands, but 3 main stands that we hunt. I was gonna pull an audible and hunt the whole opposite side of the property just to fucking do something different. And then I'm getting dressed and I pull up, all of a sudden I get an alert on my phone of one of my cameras that's right by this other stand that I have. And that big buck that I saw on Monday at 2:30 was walking down the fucking trail right next to that tree stand. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why didn't I do an all day sit? So I at that last minute, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go sit in that stand because maybe he's got a scrape there. I've had a few pictures of him making a scrape there. I was like, maybe he'll come back and check it. He didn't, but I did see a few deer. I saw some small bucks. The cool story that I had is I had a doe come crashing in and walked right in front of me, a nice mature doe, but something was pushing her. And I'm thinking like, all right, here we go. That big buck's pushing her. She comes walking through, so I let her pass. She walks past me, and then all of a sudden, about a minute later, I see a coyote running through the woods, and like literally nose on the ground every step that she took, and was not really running, but just kind of like a fast walk or a trot almost, and literally just came right in front of me and didn't quite take the same path because if that thing took the same path that she took, I was going to shoot it, but he kind of made a weird turn, went through the woods, and I best shot I had was 40 yards, and it was like really never a good shot where he never really stopped moving, honestly. But cool. I think that might be one of the first coyotes I've ever seen in the woods down here, but cool to see. But other than that, it was that was special. But other than that, I didn't get a chance to shoot anything tonight. I don't think I'm going to bow hunt the rest of the bow season. I think I'm done for the year because I got too much shit to do at work and then getting ready for deer season or firearm deer camp. So I think I'm done for the year, but probably would have had a better chance of shooting a deer in bow season had I started, earlier than like a week ago, but it is what it is. So Bob, you're up. If you get out this weekend, it's you're the last chance.
Shoot it, Bob.
Yep.
But
That's the goal.
I'm excited to get the 450 in my hand because, could have shot many a deer with that 450.
Bow Fetty.
Bow Fetty, what it do? All right, let's talk some deer camp before we wrap this up because this is supposed to be deer camp special. And we've literally not talked about deer camp, so let's break it down. What are we doing, Jason? You want to start? What's the plans for the Gosto camp?
I'm going to deer camp.
Yeah. Same place, your brother, dad.
I'm just
talk.
kidding.
Good talk.
Isn't that special?
Yep. Headed back over to the Thumb. It'll be, let's see, Dad and Jake are going to ride together, get up there Friday. We're trying to get over there like Friday early afternoon, have an early meal, and hang out at camp. A couple of times we've gotten there at different times, and you roll in late. It'd be kind of fun to get there a little earlier in the day. So I think I'm going to take a half day off on the 14th. Head over there. So the three of us will be set up in our typical stands on the west side of the property. And there'll be a couple of other guys in camp as well. I think for meals, there's a place down in Royal Oak, Barb's Pizza and Pasties. They have some really good pasties. So I think Dad's going to pick up a half dozen frozen pasties, and we'll have those thaw out, and then we'll just warm them up in the microwave. I think that'll be one of our meals. And then I think I'm going to make a crock pot meal of some sort. I don't know if it'll be chili or something else, but yep, that's our plan for that. And let's see, what else was I going to say?
You going to shoot another 8-point opening morning or what?
Oh,
no, you're always the day
I'm
after
expecting.
opener.
Yeah, I'm expecting.
Jake is
expecting a call from Shalvis. Any day now. Because I've got my. Hang on. Check. 1, 2, 3. What do you got?
There we go. Gotcha now.
Okay.
Like reading the credits at the end of the movie.
All right.
Happening over there.
I'm trying to get it all in quick. So I have a deer at Shalvis that I'll be picking up any day now. I expect the phone call. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to hold out for something with some size to it, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to be pretty picky at the beginning. I am only bought one tag this year. I didn't get the combo tag, so just one buck tag. If I end up not shooting a buck, I obviously can shoot a doe later on. But yeah, this weekend it'll be buck patrol, and I think it might be Jake's turn. He shot a buck a couple of years ago, but it's been quite a few years now where he's only shot one, and he was money for like several years in a row where it was Jake had an 8-point on the ground by 9 or 9:30 opening day, like clockwork. So,
what are you hunting with, Jason?
I have a Mossberg 450.
Okay.
Yep, I've had that for a few years now. So
the Patriot.
Yep.
Good gun.
We're the 450 gang. Everybody's using 450.
Oh, 50 boys.
Yeah.
I love that 450 round. I think that thing is cool.
You were talking about bringing the 270 up north.
I was, because of like the area that I was thinking about hunting was like I could probably squeeze off 100-yard shot in there, like, but I was like kind of like thinking maybe the 450 ain't the way to go, but like I'm going with it. Like it's just lighter. I don't know. I just really want to shoot something with that 450. Like, I mean, we're hunting up in the UP, so like it's literally any legal firearm up there. So, like for a couple of years now, we haven't used our 270s. So it's like, I need to shoot the damn thing. I might as well hunt with it. But like that 450 is just a bad mamma jamma.
A cannon,
like
man. But after seeing it drop that buck, I'm like, I have no reason to use any other caliber. Fucking unbelievable.
like kind of what sold me on the 450 was like, I was like 450 versus 350 Legend, and I just put that into YouTube and started watching just video after video of just deer getting jackhammered by that 450, and they're like, everybody's like 450. And I'm like, okay, sold. Done.
Yep.
I have
Yep.
yet to I put quite a few rounds through the gun just in practice, but I have yet to pull the trigger on a whitetail. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Bob and I are heading up to the Yoop again. Looking forward to it. I was just up there a few weeks ago for my fishing trip, but I'm looking forward to it. Our buddy Mark is coming up with us for deer camp this year. He's super stoked. He's been going to the store and buying all kinds of shit. He hasn't been up to deer camp, and I think they said the last time he came to the UP, which was probably 30 years ago. So
yeah, like I used to hunt with Mark when I was a kid. He was up there when I shot my first buck.
yeah, he's super excited. So I'm looking forward to getting him up there and then seeing all the other guys that come up to deer camp. And but yeah, we're doing the same thing. And Dan's gonna be holding down the fort down here.
Well, actually, I'm going to the Thumb with my buddy Jake.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Jacob Gasto.
yeah, Jake Costia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
funny.
there's some guy named Jason that might be there. I've never heard of him or anything. So
Yeah.
no, but yeah, I'm gonna be holding down the fort here again. Not my year again this year, but
One of these years, man.
I don't know. I might try to talk you into maybe seeing if there's any availability out at your pop's house. Maybe seeing if I can get out there.
Well, there's 7 million deer out there, so.
And I made a vow to myself: the next deer that I shoot will not be a doe.
Okay.
Not going to shoot a doe. Already shot one, so
yeah.
For as much as I hunt, which is very little, I can be picky. So
yeah, and then one of my favorite traditions at deer camp is watching Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Oh yeah,
Jason's favorite movie.
By far my favorite. Least favorite, Frozen Stupid.
Yes, Frozen Stupid. That's the one that you hate, Frozen Stupid. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The other night I was feeling I was in a little bit of my deer hunting feels, and I was like, I gotta turn the switch on somehow. So I search on Amazon or something like that and found Escanaba in the Moonlight, and then started playing it. And I got halfway through it, usually to about the part where it starts to get weird. I fell asleep after that, but up until that point, I was totally invested. Like,
even when it gets weird, though, the more you watch that part that gets weird, it's actually still pretty fucking funny, though. Like you gotta watch it.
That's kind of the funny part, yeah.
Yeah, like it gets really. I don't want to say stupid, but it's fucking stupid. But I mean, he meant for it to be that way, because that's what UP deer camps are fucking weird, man. It
is weird.
Things are different in the UP than they are in the Lower Peninsula. I don't care what anybody says. It's weird.
I think that's why we continue to go to the UP, and why when all those years that we didn't hunt in the UP, we're every single year we were sitting around deer camp and. We're sitting around deer camp in Onaway, and we're talking about the UP. Next year we need to go to the UP. Next year, oh yeah, man, I miss the UP. It's a different experience. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put into context of what everybody has a different version of deer camp. Jason, you go to the Thumb, and we go to the UP, vastly different experiences, right? We're hunting public land in the UP that
There's
is
no
like
wolves in the thumb.
it's fucking it's wild. It's very wild up there, and you get that feeling as soon as you cross the bridge and you start going along US 2. You're like, oh man, there's something different about this. This is it's weird in a good way and a bad, not a bad way, but like in a good way. It's weird.
So
Yeah.
before we wrap up, Jason, what's your favorite part of deer camp? You can say one thing.
What is my favorite part of deer camp?
Besides shooting
The
an 8
smell of the camper after a few days of chili and summer sausage.
Oh boy.
Everybody likes their own brand.
The smell of your sleeping bag after you've spent a couple of nights just roasting them in there.
Oh man, just laying it.
I'll say this. My favorite part of deer camp is actually going to be a recommendation for any camps that don't do this. It doesn't even have to be a camp, just in general. Let's see, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago, I bought like a spiral bound notebook, and we started to keep notes of different trips, right? It's not like it has to be a novel every time you go up there, just like a couple of funny stories or whatever that like jog your memory of what was going on. And now after having that, like I said, for about 7 or 8 years, what we'll end up doing is we'll go up there to camp on Friday, we'll sit down, Jake will bust open the journal and he'll start from page 1 and he'll read all of the notes, and him and I start cackling uncontrollably.
Weird,
And we laugh so hard. So that would be, I really like sitting around reading back through those memories. That's really funny. That's my recommendation for folks to start doing, is to get a hunting journal. And then the other recommendation I have, which is something that I just did this year, my mom was throwing away an old Polaroid camera, and I happened to see it sitting out when I was at home, and I bought film for it. And I took it out to New York and took a picture of Kevin with his deer. And when that Polaroid picture I guess develops, right, it literally looks like it is a picture from the 80s. I think it looks really awesome. And unlike on our phones, right, where you take a picture and then it's on your phone, but nobody ever really gets to see it at camp, right? The idea was take a picture with a Polaroid, stick it up at camp, everyone can see a picture of the buck, right? So I'm going to start doing that. Polaroid film is pretty expensive. It was like over $20 for 20 pictures. So I'm going to start doing that though. I'm going to take a picture if someone shoots a deer, and then maybe another picture of everybody at camp for that year. You can write a little note at the bottom of it. And I'm going to start keeping Polaroid pictures of deer camp in 2025. We're going with the throwback to the Polaroids.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like the journal. I feel like
the journal is great.
The journal would definitely be something I would like to do. Definitely for Winya though. I think that would be a cool thing to have for even just for everybody to come write some notes about your trip and just start piling them up. I think that would be cool, but I like it. Bob, what's your favorite part of deer camp?
Spending time with my brother, man.
Nerd.
Right in the fields.
Yeah, let's get emotional about it.
Yeah, let's have a good cry, man.
No, like deer camp in the UP, like I said, it's different, and I definitely enjoy that opening morning sit. Like, there's nothing like it, whether I see shit or not. Like I always, kind of a tradition for me is I mark the first shot that I hear, right? The time, right? No matter how far away it is, this shit could be miles away. You hear that in the distance. I'm looking at my watch. It's 7:20 in the morning or whatever, and then I come back and tell everybody it was 7:20 in the morning and whatever. I don't know. That's just a thing for me. Probably like I like getting up there, the prep for it, those kind of things. That opening morning sit is my absolute favorite. And then after that, it is kind of like the people that will pop into camp, especially with the UP deer camp, because like we've known these guys for so long, you don't see them all the time. So it's like that we get back in from the evening hunt, getting ready to eat or something like that, and there's just always somebody random at camp, like just some local that we haven't seen in a long time, and so it's always kind of cool to hang out with those guys. And usually there's one or two nights that's like a pretty big, we're tying it on pretty good. There's some dice going or whatever it is, and like I just get into that part of it, like the social part of it.
Yeah.
That's my that's the whole reason I go. Like honestly, like deer. If I want to kill deer, I go sit on my dad's deck in the morning and probably kill a deer every day. But
Yeah,
like it's not what it's really about. It's about just having that UP deer camp experience, and I think we do a good job of it. We eat good, we drink a lot of beer. We hang out with good friends and have a lot of fucking laughs and talk about some weird shit. And it's always there's always some stories. It's always a good time.
yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
I'd say the same. Honestly, man, like we're two in the same. Like the camaraderie is why we go. It's not about shooting deer because, as I've said in my story, there's 700 deer behind our parents' house. They're like fucking rats. So, like, if we wanted to kill a deer, going to the UP is certainly not the reason that you go. You don't go there to kill deer. Like everybody says, the deer population is terrible in the UP. I don't know. My trail camera would probably say otherwise, but it's certainly not the reason that we go. It's about hanging out with our buddies and just being away. Just that camp camaraderie, playing cards, playing dice. That's certainly one of them. I think my favorite part though is, well, I mean, there's nothing better than that opening morning sit. Of all the times I hunt, there's nothing better than opening morning. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. That first morning, it's like the Super Bowl of hunts. It's like the day, even though I don't know that it's the best day, but it's always like there's something about it. I remember back when I was a teenager going up the UP and opening day, like the excitement the night before, getting all your shit ready for that first hunt. Like there's nothing like it.
It's like
But
Christmas with guns.
for real, it is. But I think my favorite part of the whole trip is the setup, is going out and like setting up where we're going to be hunting, scouting out a new spot. I think that's part of the reason I like hunting. I actually don't mind hunting public land. Like part of it sucks because like sometimes you have some dickheads walk up on you but it's nice. I just like going out there and like we're scouting, we're walking around, we're setting up bait piles, we're setting up our blinds, we're brushing stuff in. Like I don't know. I think that for our trip, I think that's one of my favorite parts of it is the setup.
I'll agree. I'll agree with that. And because the land that we hunt is so big. I mean, you're talking like some of the sections that we hunt are 5,000 acres. So it's like it's massive. So like sometimes, we're like, hey, we pull up the Onyx or something like that, and we're like, let's check this area out. And like in the middle of the day, got nothing else to do. Like, hey, let's go over there and check this out. And we go out there and we'll walk in and we'll come up with like, hey, this is a really good area. This like we do that shit a lot. And like sometimes we get way back in some shit and like two tracking back there and like damn near getting the truck stuck, a few times. That's always a good time too. Like I have fun just exploring.
Yeah.
Just exploring and scouting new areas and finding something that might be promising. Like, maybe we always go back to the same spot every year and hunt the same thing. But like, man, this spot might be good if we really want to do that. But it's like, it's an adventure up every time we go to the UP. Like it's just a lot of fun because we're not bound to the same stand, the same situation every single time that we. I'm very much a mobile hunter. Like Ryan will tell you, like I'll set a tree stand. I get up in the tree stand, and while I'm sitting in the tree stand, I'm looking at other trees that I would rather hang the tree stand on. Like I'm like I have ADD when it comes to deer hunting, And the UP is perfect for that because like there's a million trees up there and there's a million places to hunt. So like I can literally have my pick of the litter. So it's just a cool it's a cool thing. And like I don't know, like the way that those guys talk about deer hunting up there and like it's like it's a holiday up there for sure. And I
Yeah.
mean those guys up there they live for it. You know,
Yep.
they enjoy deer camp probably more than we do. You know, so it's like when we get there, like they're super excited that we're there. They're super excited that deer camp is a thing still, and like we're trying to keep this thing alive. You know, trying to keep deer camp rolling because it's kind of we're kind of a dying breed anymore. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just cool to keep those traditions going and we have a lot of them. We have a lot of like little things that we do, watching Escanaba in the moonlight on the night before opener, and it's just a lot of like little weird shit that we do, and like, hey, let's go see this one thing, let's go do this, let's go drive over here, let's go visit this guy or whatever. It's just a lot of little things that we do that kind of culminates into deer camp. So this is one of the trips that I look forward to most every year. Like I look forward to Winya every year just because it's like that's a that's a standard. But like this is I don't know. It's hard for me to judge whether this is a bigger event than Winya, in my opinion. Winya might be bigger because my family's involved because like that's something that we all do together. But like deer camp is something that's very near and dear to my heart.
Yep.
So
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's we're a couple days. Well, we're going up on Wednesday, so we're only what 5 days away, 4 days away, something like that.
yeah, I'm counting the fucking minutes. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we're gonna record a podcast up there. I know Jimmy's gonna record a podcast at his camp, so hopefully we'll have some good content from camp for you guys. I'll try to get some video and things like that. We have no signal, so getting this shit sent to Dan is going to be next to impossible unless we go into the town. But we'll do our best. But Dan will try to keep everybody up to date on the status of what's going on with deer camps. But I'm sure the Gasto family will shoot all the deer in the thumb. But
Well, speaking of
We're gonna
tradition,
try.
yeah, so we're gonna end this podcast with our tradition of Jason reading our Terrible Outdoorsman version of the Palace and the Popple. So before you do that, Jason, any final thoughts?
No final thoughts.
Bob?
Keep your legs crossed, your mind on Jesus.
since Jason didn't say it, I got nothing.
I'll just say good luck, everybody. Shoot straight. Keep them on the ground and run like hell.
Take it
That's
away,
a
Jason.
new sign off. So yes, this is Palace in the Popple. This originally was from George Augustus Bixby back in Wisconsin, 1905, so 120 years ago, with a couple of modifications for our crew here. It's a smoky, raunchy bear's nest with an unswept, drafty floor and pillow-ticking curtains and apple pucker for a snort. The smell of a pine knot fire from a stovepipe that has come loose mingles sweetly with the brute grease and the Copenhagen snooze. There are work-worn 30-30s with a battered steel stocks and drying lines of long johns and of steaming pungent socks. There's a table for the terrible outdoorsmen where they choose their teams for euchre, and there's deep and dreamless sleeping on bunk ticks stuffed with straw. Dan and Jimmy stand by the stove, their gun talk loud and hot. Ryan and Jason are partners again. Pass on a bower they will not. Jimmy's been drafted again as cook and is peeling some spuds for stew, while Bob wanders by in baggy drawers, sipping another brew. Nowhere on earth is fire so warm, nor coffee so infernal, no whiskers so stiff, jokes so rich, nor hope blooming so eternal. A man can live for a solid week in the same old underbreeches and walk like a man and spit when he wants and scratch himself where he itches. I tell you, boys, there's no place else where I'd rather be come fall, where I eat like a bear and sing like a wolf and feel like I'm bull pine tall. In that raunchy cabin out in the bush in the land of raven and loon, with a trafficking with a tracking snow lying new on the ground at the end of the rutting moon.